My name is Clay Clark, and I happen to be the CEO of Thrive15.com. And today, I am joined with the NBA Hall of Famer, David Robinson. Now, a lot of people know David for his success on the court, but a little Google search will show that he's been more successful off the court than he was on the court. Today, we're going to be teaching a little bit about team building. He's going to be teaching me and you about how to build a team, specifically how to go from me to we. The whole idea that you can build a team of people who are inspired and focused to help your team achieve your vision and your mission. Remember, at Thrive15.com, we believe that knowledge without application is meaningless. So as you're watching today's episode, you have to ask yourself, what can you do to apply these principles in your own life and business? If not, today's episode may just be more meaningless than that DVD commentary that you added to your kid's birthday party video. David Robinson, how are you, sir?
Hey, Clay, how are you doing? Good to see you.
Doing well. I will tell you, I am enjoying San Antonio. Great people here.
Yeah, a great city. Underrated. It flies a little under the radar on the national scale, but it is a great city.
Now, we're here talking about team building, specifically how to create a winning team. Now, David, most of the top business leaders I've ever met, they tend to look at the business as being almost like a great sports team, where they'll say, I've got to get good players.
Right.
They use sports terminology.
Absolutely.
I got to get key players. I want someone to quarterback this position. I want somebody to, be our center. I don't know if anybody talks about needing a guy in the low post who can, but they carry the sports analogy pretty far.
Right.
For example, the Spurs drafted you as the number 1 draft pick in 1987 NBA draft because you were very good and they thought you had a lot of potential, and they wanted you to be a key player on their team.
Right.
Now, they also decided not to draft Jack Haley as the number 1 overall pick, and I don't understand why. And Jack was drafted in the 4th round by the Chicago Bulls as the 79th player overall. And although Jack is probably a great American, he wasn't as good as you on the court for the position they needed.
Right.
And I think you ended up playing with Jack later in the career.
I did. Jack came to San Antonio, and we got to be friends. So.
Yeah, and he's a great guy, and you see, he had a relationship with him. But I guess what I'm getting at is that sometimes when you're building a franchise or you're building a company, you have to go after the right players there. So in your mind, as you've tried to build the Admiral Capital Fund here, what kind of players are you looking for now? Like specifically in your business, what kind of players are you looking for?
Well, I mean, it's like building a team. You have to fit pieces together, right? You need stars. You need people who want the ball at the last few minutes, who will take the big shots,
yeah. And
you have people who will facilitate, and so I look for people that will fit into the pieces of the puzzle. You have to, one of my philosophies is always put the people in position where they can be successful. If they're great, they can be out front. If they have certain talents, you slide them into that right slot. It's your responsibility as a leader to make sure that they can operate in their talent.
So you want to put people in the right position to be successful. Did you? Greg Popovich was interviewed recently talking about the formula of success that you guys as the Spurs organization have had. Yeah. And he's super funny on his interviews, and he has that dry sense of humor. Yeah. But he said, well, what you do is you draft the best player in the league once every 10 years, and that's how he was kind of joking about that. But do you go after a superstar? Like when you started Carver Academy, the school that you and your wife founded there, right. Did you go after a superstar right away? Do you have to get a superstar to sort of build around? If I'm someone watching this and I'm trying to build a company, do I need to get a superstar first?
I think you either need to be a superstar or get one. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There's no question, especially when your team is small. Yeah. People have to be multi-talented. They have to be able to fill a couple of different roles, competently at least. And you have to have some people who can make you great. And so yes, when I started Carver, I looked for a head of school that could help us build something from the ground up, and so she really had to be a star.
Now, as you're growing the Admiral Fund, or as you were growing growing Carver, you look around your landscape and you start looking for us, because a lot of business owners are just hiring people and not looking for a specific kind of person. Because you said we have to. You're a big believer of putting people in a situation to be successful.
Right.
Are you looking, do you even write down on a sheet of paper, I'm looking for somebody who fits this particular job description? Are you very specific about what you're looking for as you're hiring?
I think you have to be. You need to know exactly what you're looking for. If it's a head of school, you're looking for someone who has taught in the past, but who has management experience. Someone who understands exactly what you're trying to build. I was trying to build a family-like environment, a nurturing family-like environment. So they had to have that personality as well. And some people are very administrative, but not very family-like. So, you have to be very specific in understanding what you're looking for. And once you have your star or your stars, then you can build the team around that group of people.
Is it possible to build a winning team without occasionally having to cut somebody? And I want to ask this from a sports perspective. Every year the Spurs, you start off the season with how many players when you go to the summer camps and stuff?
Yeah, you might take 12 players.
12 players?
Right.
Eventually, though, the Spurs are going to draft people. There's going to be some free agents that might come onto the team and they work out together, but somebody has to be cut.
Right.
Is it possible to have a successful business without ever pruning the tree or cutting?
Is it possible? Yes.
Okay.
Is it a wise practice? No.
Okay.
I would say, you have to build that into your business. You have to understand that there is going to be transition. As a school, we had to think about teachers who would come in for a couple of years and wanted the experience, maybe move on. Maybe some of the teachers weren't going to be cut out to be teachers. We took in a lot of new teachers. So you have to expect that some of those new teachers are not going to be as successful.